Make your bed every morning. Just clean your room. Your environment dictates how you feel. It's not that these statements aren't true, they are very true. I know that because my mum told me. And my mum has never been wrong about anything. And neither has yours. These statements are true. They have and they do work often. But what happens when they don't? Oh, there's fucking bikes coming. Ah! Sometimes I feel like I have to go to a cafe to work. Sometimes I feel like I have to go to a park to read. And sometimes, and it's embarrassing to admit this, I walk around for hours trying to find somewhere to work that I feel like I can focus, that has just the right vibe. And I'll be walking around for so long that eventually it'll get too late to do whatever I'm doing, and I'll go, oh fuck, I have to go home now. Like, my brain will just sometimes feel so sluggish, and it really pisses me off because it's not always like this. I sometimes find it really easy to just make decisions, do things, and it's so annoying that something that I found so easy to just get up and do one day, 2 weeks ago, honestly, it feels like my brain is molding. It was raining, so I moved home. I'm now bothering Artem. Say hi, Artem. I have absolutely no credentials to my name, and I'm going to absolutely bro science my way through talking about the most complex organ in the human body. One of my favorite content creators on YouTube, Struthless, says that the brain is a question and answer machine. This machine needs data to draw from to answer these questions. So, where does it draw the data from? Well, when something happens to you, as things often do, your brain files that away in your short-term memory. Then, during sleep, your brain will sort through this information and decide whether or not to keep it in the short-term memory or to move it to the long-term memory. Think about it as having a backpack versus having a storage locker. Everything you need in your daily carry is at your backpack because you'll need it at short notice. But anything that you don't really need right now but will maybe someday need in the future will stay in a storage locker somewhere where you don't have to worry about it. However, and this is the important bit, so if you haven't been listening, listen now. If something happens to you that triggers a long-term memory, your brain will then resurface it into the short-term memory. This is why something as normal as a smell can sometimes trigger childhood memories that you didn't even think you had. Again, to reiterate, I am not a professional. I am simply goofing. I think there's thunder. Can you hear me? I think there's thunder, and I don't think I should be using this during the thunder.
You're not gonna die.
I'm not gonna die. I think I might do. So let's say you've had a breakup. Let's say this person was incredibly special to you. Your routines aligned together. Let's say that you would always wake up together, go to the gym together, the same gym. You go to the same coffee place together. You'd work in the same place. Or maybe you just go to the library and work together in the same place. Maybe, even though you've broken up, you still have the same... Maybe you still have stuff that belonged to her. Maybe she gave you something and you use it every day. Maybe you still regularly check her Instagram as part of your morning routine. Maybe, and I know at least some of you do this, maybe every time you open Spotify, you check what she's listening to. I'm not gonna, do you see that? I am not gonna, okay, I'm just gonna stand at the rain because I think there's nothing coming and it's not used wise. No matter how special this person is to you, they are a mouse in your house. They are the metaphorical turd that will not flush. The thing about these memories, though, is that you think they're about the person, but they're not. You don't indulge in these memories because you miss them. You actually indulge in them because you miss how you felt at the time. You miss that person who you were. Those memories feel safe and comfortable to be in because you know what the outcome is. You know what's going to happen because you are the product of that. And the more that you indulge in these memories, rather than uproot them, the more you skate over them rather than actually look deeply at why you're having them, the more you're going to enjoy it and the harder it is going to be to stop. And what's worse than that is that when you avoid the silence by putting on a YouTube video while you're in the shower, or even listening to music, is that you are creating negative feedback loops. You're biasing behaviors that are just going to make it even harder in the future to really listen to the problems and figure out what is going wrong in your mind. I use the breakup analogy because it's the easiest and most dramatic one to draw from, but I can guarantee you this is the same with any problem across the spectrum. I know for a fact that there is some clutter, big or small, in your daily life right now that you are avoiding. And do you know how I know that? Because you're procrastinating right now. I know you are. Unfortunately, this is not some big life-changing eureka moment that is just going to enable you to see the code, the matrix vision. This is more me allowing you to allow yourself to take a minute, take a step back, take a breather. If there was ever an argument for a holiday, and take this from a guy who does not take holidays and does not like holidays, this is one. Whether or not you need to make big or small behavior changes, whether or not you need to just unplug and stop scrolling in the evening, or move to a treehouse in southern Uzbekistan. There's so many things I could mention that could help you. I don't know, journaling, meditation, taking a poo. The environment you're surrounding yourself with, the one that you live in every single day, might actually be the issue. And it's not just as simple as you need to clean it. You may actually need to go through it with a fine-tooth comb and figure out what are the objects that you are holding on to that are reminding you of the person that you used to be. What items are taking up too much space so that you don't actually have the space to grow? I bet there are things there. Look! Actually look! But maybe it's not items. Maybe it's the space itself. I don't know whether everyone can actually afford to up and move house all the time. They feel a little bit stuck, but it might actually be the issue. This might be completely talking out of my arse, but I feel like we're supposed to be wanderers, right? We're supposed to be people that kind of move around a lot. We're not supposed to be stuck in one space for a long amount of time. And I don't know, and maybe we get too mentally attached to things. Maybe I'm applying way too many things to what really is an ape brain that we are all walking around with. But maybe we get too attached to things. Maybe we are supposed to spiritually and healthily grow. And you holding on to the past is prohibiting that. Maybe a declutter is not a simple clean. Maybe it's moving on. Okay, well, because you use my Roman name, if you're going to take anything away from this video, take this. Whenever you find yourself doing something automatically, whether it's putting on that comfort sitcom that you usually do, if you find yourself stuck in that melancholic memory loop that keeps you awake for hours before you go to sleep, or if your brain just feels sluggish and heavy, just take a break. Take a second, take a breath, and just ask the question, why? Always ask yourself, because as much as I can tell you, you probably already know what the problem is. And if you know the problem, you probably already know the solution.